Hey guys, I hope you're having a great week. I know today was a little weird because we had to change when we're going to be having the coaching call today because I'm going to be out of town. But I wanted to go over a couple things that we are covering in the group and see, I wanted to see if you guys had any questions. It doesn't look like we have questions yet, but there have been a couple things that have come up in the last week from several musicians that you might see yourself. So one of those is impingement, shoulder impingement, forearm pain and wrist pain. And is it carpal tunnel or not? I also want to really talk about the 2-day intensive real quick and see if I've got something else. Hold on one sec. So first things first, let's talk about shoulder impingement and what it is. And I'll put a little video in the group here soon. This is, if you are towards the end of the program, this would go under a corrective exercise routine, but let's real quick talk about what it is, because it's something that musicians actually tend to deal with a lot, and so does the general population. And we're going to be dealing with that, both sides of this, right? As people who are interested in helping all kinds of people. So shoulder impingement, basically, like think like pinch, make it a little easier for you. So you've got the acromion process, which if you find, go back here and you find the top of your scapula, your shoulder blade, you'll feel that ridge, right? And there's some pictures in the group, you'll feel it. That ridge goes all the way out here, right? And then your clavicle, your collarbone goes from here to here. So they go that way, this goes this way, it creates a really small space right here. And then we've got the head of your humerus, which kind of fits in that socket. So we've got a little trifecta. We've got the head of the acromion process, and then we've got the end of the collarbone, and then the bone goes right in between there, right? And so what you get is if you get these muscles that end up tight, so like the first rib, the scalenes, the upper trap, the first rib gets compressed and you get thoracic outlet. But if a lot of times you can get really tight biceps, really tight chest musculature. Those are a couple of the culprits, and you're going to see this in anybody who tends to have forward head posture, upper cross syndrome, which you'll see in the other modules. But you're going to see this as people who are forward a lot more in their day-to-day lives. So if you are helping a student who tends to text a lot, that could cause issues here, but they're like this way. If they have low self-confidence, if you are dealing with somebody who spends a lot of time hunched, either at a computer, maybe they're like working on their cars, maybe they play oboe. I mean, you've got all these different things, right? So maybe play keyboard. So if your arms are in front, this all comes this way. If this musculature back here is weak, and not just there, but we're also talking about the serratus anterior. So the serratus anterior, it kind of wraps around your ribs like a hug, right? And it pulls your shoulder blades back and down, which can help pull all of this back and down so that subacromial space doesn't get squished and we don't get the impingement. And the impingement you're going to feel, which you have trouble going overhead. Maybe you get popping and clicking, and then that turns to pain, and then it's like, oh gosh, I can't lift my arm over my head, right? So that's what that is. So if everything is up here, we need to bring it down. So as we're learning in the group, you want to identify the tight muscles, and I'm going to give you some of them here. Like I said, it's going to be your chest, the front of your anterior delt, the front of your shoulder here, your bicep, because all of that, your bicep does this, it attaches up here, your chest musculature brings you forward here, your chest, your pec muscles bring you this way, but they also attach on the head of your arm. They cross, your anterior delts on the front of that crosses, it all brings you forward. So if we get a lot of this, that can bring the head of that humerus up there and squish things. You can also have problems up here. So what do we need? We need to strengthen the things that are below it. So we're thinking like mid traps, rhomboids, serratus anterior, pulls you, anything that will pull you back and down, low traps, maybe even rear delts a little bit, right? So these are all things that you want to look at. So my favorite, if you only have one thing that you have time to do, if you have equipment, so let me go back. If you don't have equipment, I would do the chest stretch, and then I do the bicep stretch, okay? Both of those are gonna be really great for relaxing this musculature. Follow it up with prone tees or Y's if you can do it, but a lot of times people can't lift their arms overhead, so it's not really so great. One of my absolute favorite ways to get rid of shoulder impingement, and it's quick, is to do traction. So we call this a distraction, and you'll see the video in the guides. It says how to get rid of crunchy shoulders. It's basically the same thing. So the important thing is that when you get the band, whatever band you're going to use, you're going to put your arm through it. Let the band hold you here, not in your hands. So you're not gripping the band, and it's none of that. You are letting the band hold you, and then you're going to let that band pull your arm out of socket just a little bit, not like literally out of socket, but you're going to give it a little bit of traction in the socket. So it should feel nice. So what you're going to do, you can go this direction. This direction feels good for a lot of people. You can, if you don't have a way to hook it up high, you can put it on a doorknob. You can put it, I've used it down below where I've put it on the bottom, like around a sofa leg, and then you kneel and you let it pull you that way. The important thing is that the band is going to pull you, and you find a position that you can relax in for 2 to 5 minutes, because you really want, you're not controlling the band, right? So you really want to be gentle, get into this slowly, and let the band pull you gently that way, okay? So you can go this way. You can also have it pull you that way. I'll demonstrate here in a minute. Well, actually, I'll go demonstrate right now. All right, so what I've got here is a regular band with handles. As you can see, I've got it put up high, but I'll show you down low in a second. If you don't have a looped band, this will work fine. I'll show you on this side. You're gonna put your arm through the band, right? Underneath. This is what I mean about the band holding you. You're gonna let it hold you, right? And then I want you to come back. You're not gripping this, the band's holding you. You're gonna come back and move your hips back and back and back. All right, there. Until you feel some nice traction in this joint. Ideally, you want a straight line from your hand to your hips. And you're just gonna move around until you feel traction and like a little bit of relief in that joint. It should feel nice. Another way you can do it, come out of that slowly, by the way, don't let it slingshot you. Okay, another way you can do it, some people think this feels good. You're gonna turn and let it pull you that way. That does feel really nice. It's a very intense bicep stretch, but that should feel really nice as well. Okay, a third option is you can have it down low and you're gonna pull it. You're gonna let it pull you from the ground. In this case, sorry, it's really loud. Like this. So you can see I've got it looped around both handles of the door. Same deal. What you're gonna do, oops. Around the door. So same thing. You can do it that way. If you're doing the version where the chest is more out, right? That way. That'll feel nice too. You can even hook it around a lower piece of furniture. And if you've got a piece of furniture right here, you would do this kind of thing. You can do this on the wall. It should feel super nice. Okay. There is a third way that will stretch here, but we're not going to go over that because that's generally not the thing that you need for that. So for shoulder impingement, you want to relax this musculature, and then you want to give a little bit of traction, and then you want to strengthen. So like I did some, anything that will strengthen the serratus anterior. So any kind of slides or pushes with slides, anything where you have a straight arm, or I'm sorry, where you have your shoulder blade is pulled down and you're pushing away at the same time, you'll feel it right here, okay? So that will strengthen that area. Prone tees are also great to add in there. We cover all those in the exercises section. So that's a really great one. Also talking about wrist and forearm pain. So I know when Orlando joined, that was kind of a thing. Y'all let me know, when you joined, I gave you the option to, or I said that Hypervolt was going to send you their Mini Go, which this is the Jawku. It's very similar, but it's a smaller version of this. Let me know if instead of a massage gun, you would rather have an arm aid. So, I mean, this is not for everybody. This is not for everybody. This is for massaging your forearms, and I think it's amazing. And if you have any kind of wrist pain, you can even have thumb issues. It gets into your biceps and triceps. I'll show you both. Let me know if you would rather have that than this when you signed up. So we've got different speeds. So say this is the area where it's tender. It's not quite the same as getting massage where they hold the tender point because this is percussive therapy, obviously, but you're just looking for tender spots right there. You don't want to hang out on the bone or right on the joint, but you're going to look for what's tender. So like right in here, yeah. Oh yeah. You can do the same thing with the arm aid, and I'll show you. So you get your bicep, triceps a little more difficult, but boy, does that feel nice, right in here. So if you have that app, you'll see where the trigger points are. Forearms, it gets a little dicey because, you know, forearms tend not to be very big and you don't want to be going on the bone. Now, let me show you what happens. If you hit on the bone, like, see how this is the head of my humerus. So if I hit the head of the humerus, if I'm on the bone, it's going to kick back. And it doesn't feel good. See what I mean? I don't know if you can see it or hear it, but it's not so great. So you want to relax it, you want to stretch it, and you want to do that. So when it comes to forearms, again, we're talking corrective exercise. The thing is that you want to massage what's tight, we want to stretch what's tight, but then we also need to strengthen either what's weak or what needs endurance. So when it comes to forearm musculature, we're also talking about, you know, looking at, that's why we do the postural distortions. What else is going on? If you're playing keys, right? Are we this way at all? How much do we come forward? I mean, you can't sit here and do this. I mean, you just can't. But we can check to see, like, is my core engaged? No? Okay. How can I engage my core while I'm on the bench? Am I standing up? Am I hunched? Is my head forward? All these different things. So we're not going to go into all the different things. I put a reel or a video in the group that you can check out. But I do want to mention that if you would rather have one of these, I love them, and I think they're absolutely fabulous for massaging your own forearms. All you got to do, you literally roll back and forth, you find that spot, you hang out, you get nice little blood flow in the area. Feels super nice, okay? If you'd rather not, there's a discount code on their website. Let's go back in there, I'll tell you some more stuff. So last but not least, we're going to talk real quick about the 2-day intensive. So as you can see, this course has a ton of information. At this point, we're going on a year that since we really first started, so there's a ton of stuff in the guides. There's a lot of downloadable material. Some of it's optional. It just depends on how much info you want and how deep you want to go with this. But the 2-day intensive is literally where I take the course that you are doing and I condense it down into 2 days. It is intense. And so you're not going to get everything that's in the course, but if you really kind of want to maybe either a refresher or you just work better when you put everything together and it makes sense, this is the course for you. And as anybody who's already in this course, you have the option for accessing the course for only $97. That's 2 days. And it's full, and you'll get the recordings of the whole thing. So you can have it at your disposal. You get a workbook, you get a bunch of other stuff. So the first one is going to be the weekend of May 21st. So the second one, I believe, is the weekend of July 9th. It's gonna be a Saturday, Sunday. It will not be sitting in front of, yes, it's online, but it will not be sitting in front of your Zoom camera like this for 8 hours a day. This is, as you've seen in this course, this is gonna be a lot of hands-on, a lot of interactive. So we actually talk about the muscles. We do the body awareness exercises in depth. We learn how we move, right? This is all really important stuff. And sometimes it can be easy to lose some of that in the group. So if that's something that interests you, let me know and I will get you signed up for that. Please share with anybody you think might be interested in this course, but maybe the 90-day course is not right for them. Maybe they work better on shorter deadlines. Maybe they think this would just be like a good introduction for them. So I'm going to drop the link in the group about the 2-day intensive. You can see the outline of what it's going to be. You already know what it's going to be. It's this course, but it's condensed into 2 days. So it's kind of a crash course I don't like that. It is just really more of an intensive because we dive into all of the really pertinent stuff. And the good news is you guys are already in this group, so you have time to go back and apply it to what you're already learning. So if you guys can help me advertise that, we can help other people change the world, and we can really change musicians' wellness a lot faster if we all do this together. So that's coming up. Hit me up with any questions, and I hope you're having a great week. Excited to see what you do in the group. Bye, guys.